basically what he was saying is, if you're going to follow me, if you're really going to do this thing, if you're really going to build this kingdom of mine, make sure you count the cost of every stone, of every door frame. Just know what the price is going to be. Just know what the price is going to be. And that's one thing that this man who called me this past week, his name is Daniel 8, one thing he said to me back in, whatever year it was, 2013, 2012, 2011. He pulled me aside one morning. He's like, Russ, are you going to pay the price? And it's written on my whiteboard in my office. And some days I have it, some days I haven't. But it's on that whiteboard, and it reminds me every single day, Russ, if you really believe your destiny is going to happen, if you really believe that's true for you, are you willing to pay the price? If you think it's just going to be like, whatever, then just do whatever. But if you really believe the things that people have said to you at the altar and in prayer meetings and at conventions, if you really believe those things for your life, then are you willing to do what it takes to earn that gold medal at the Olympics? Are you willing to put the time in the pool? Are you willing to change your diet? Are you willing to change your friends? Are you willing to change your habits? Are you willing to work harder than everybody else to get the things that God's promised you? And that's the thing that really blows my mind, is that, for example, Michael Phelps only recently got saved. Only in the last 2 years did he become a Christian. So for years, he somehow had the discipline, the hard work that was greater than most Christians to earn just a ribbon and a medal. It's crazy, right? You think, that's the thing that I get mad at myself about. I'm like, how do I have less discipline? Out of all that I've seen, out of all that God's allowed me to experience, right? How could I have less discipline than a man who doesn't even believe in you? And he's not even working for you. He's just working for a temporary piece of ribbon and metal that will one day be in a landfill. And he works harder and has more discipline and has made more sacrifices than I have. And yet I've seen miracles and I've seen wonders, and that God has blessed me and done so many wonderful things for me, I can't even write them all down. And it's it makes me embarrassed of myself at times. I'm like, wow, why can't I have as much or more discipline and hard work as that man when I've seen what I've seen and know what I know? And I've been promised what I've been promised. He wasn't promised anything. He didn't even know who God was for him, But he put the hours in and the sacrifice and the hard work and the discipline and won more gold medals than any other person. It just blows my mind. So I love when the Olympics come on, because it just puts that extra fire back in me. If you want that, then it's going to take this. And the thing is you have to work every single day. It's like a blind faith. They work for years for something that might happen. And some of the sports, which is really crazy, swimming is just cut and dry. Whoever touches the wall first wins. But gymnastics, it's up to the judges. And that's not always guaranteed, right? It's you could have a better performance and not get the gold just because of the way the judge saw something. So that's even crazier, that you work how many hours a day for how many years for something that might happen. And the thing with God is his promises are not might. They're yes and amen. His promises are absolutely yes, without a doubt. If you follow me, if you stay close to me, if you stay in my will, if you just listen to my voice, they will happen. It's not a might. It's not based on what the judges think about you. It's not based on anybody else's hard work. There's no losers. Everybody wins. Your destiny is not only one person's going to win. We're all promised great destinies and only one of us is actually going to accomplish it and everyone else is going to lose. All those guys work their butts off and they leave all kinds of stuff behind to swim, and only one guy's going home with the gold. Nobody's guaranteed anything. But God says, if you will do what I'm asking you to do, if you'll follow me, the gold's guaranteed for your life. It's guaranteed. Because it's not based on judges, and it's not based on someone else's performance. It's not if Brian Houston of Hillsong Church in Australia preaches a great sermon on Sunday, he gets a gold medal and every other preacher in the world loses. It's we can all win. We can all get gold medals. We can all do great things for God together and win together. And that's powerful. That should inspire us to work even harder and to sacrifice more than Olympians do, because they work for something that is completely temporary, not eternal, and is not promised at all. They can work 4 years and walk away with nothing. And God says, if you work as hard as an Olympian does for 4 years, just watch what I'll do in your life. Right? Can you imagine what God would do in our lives and in this church if we put the time in and the sacrifice and the hard work in that these Olympians do? If we did that as a church collectively, even for a year, even for 6 months, what God would do through us and in this place? And these guys do it for 4 years, hoping that at the end of that 4 years, they'll walk home with something. And it's a mite. And we have the opportunity that says, there is no might, it's promised. You do it, God promises salvations and miracles and the resources that we need, the retreat house and all the things that you're believing for. God says they're not mights, they're promises, they're yeses and